Greetings, brothers. Greetings. Now I'm about to introduce you to Jabali Maatuka. I've known Jabali for nearly 2 years. Across the Spring 22, it's the Oratorical chapter student at Southern University of Evansville. I can honestly say that he has grown tremendously in this short amount of time. Not only is he a man of distinction, good character. Not only is he a man of distinction, good character, excellence, and scholarship, but he is also my children. He has done many things for our chapter and represents us in the best way he knows how. He has deep love for the pod, and I can tell by the passion he possesses for the chapter and the brotherhood as a whole. He has taken on a substantial role and responsibility this year as being elected our chapter president, and I can proudly say that he has met and exceeded these expectations. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Jabali Maatuka.
That cake was a hit. That cake was a hit.
Can you guys hear me?
Yum, yum.
Barack Obama stated in his speech in Warren, Michigan, the best anti-poverty program is world-class education. Dreams become business, life skills and vocational training become feasible, construction projects and inventions become realities with education. In the simplest definition, an education is the experience that changes one's behavior. And education is the surest way to change your life. My name is Jabali Maatuka, member number 2887652, president of the Oratorical chapter. Before I begin answering the question, how can Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated better leverage the power of education to overcome barriers and pave the way to a brighter future, I need to confess a few things. First and foremost, this is unfair. Basically, I'm cheating. If you want to disqualify me right now for having an unfair advantage, I'll understand. If I was being disqualified for being a child of an educator, the child of an attorney, a child of privilege, I wouldn't object. If the esteemed judges believe I have an unfair advantage as I was born and bred for this very conversation and therefore should not be allowed to compete, I get it. Since my birth, I have been educated to solve this very problem. The mere opportunity to discuss this issue with all of you is a victory within itself. For me, this is not a oratorical contest, but instead a testimony. I am the living example of how the leveraged power of education overcomes barriers and paves the way to a brighter future. I am my ancestors' wildest dream. Second generation college, both my parents hold 2 or more degrees. My eldest sister is a practicing attorney. My oldest brother is in his 3rd year of law school. We are the result of leveraging the power of education. But what about those not privileged? What about those not born to educators and attorneys? What about them? How can Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated better leverage the power of education to overcome the barriers they face, pave the way to a brighter future for them? Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, with its over 290,000 plus members, whose mission is to develop leaders, promote brotherhood, and academic excellence while providing service and advocacy for our communities, simply has to abide by its mission. Simply has to be the men of influence that we say we are. We must solve racism. And here's the rub. Racism is not that hard to solve. Racism is taught. It is not a natural phenomenon. It was created by men to dehumanize other men. You have to ask yourself, if racism is taught, where are people learning? The simple answer is at home. The more complex answer is that racism is a major component within every institution and pillar of society and is taught, reinforced within every aspect of life, especially within education. Therefore, racism must be unlearned, and who better to deconstruct racism than the men of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, who have vowed to develop leaders, promote brotherhood, and academic excellence while providing service and advocacy for our communities. Our process must begin with culture. Culture is the practical application of a vision, mission, and principles within the system. To have culture, we must have leadership. Leadership is an envisioning, enabling, empowering, and an energizing of a group or collective. Effective leadership coaches, directs, supports, and delegates. Successful leadership nurtures, develops, and builds solid relationships. It's these relationships that allows education to change one's behavior. It's through education that we can attack prejudice and power. Prejudice and power are the foundational components of racism. Power is the capacity or ability to direct or influence the behavior of others or the course of events. Stay with me. Men of alpha, men of influence. Education stops those with adverse opinions from directing and influencing the behaviors of others. Because once educated, everyone knows better. Mark Goodman, professor of education at Leadership College and Columbia University, says, anti-racism is becoming more racially aware and developing the skills to dismantle racism and the connected oppressors. It's about taking action. How do we deconstruct racism? Action. We must be anti-racist. We must learn the facts, events, the truth, and we must educate all so that there can be no adverse opinions or leading scorns without just grounds or sufficient knowledge with the capacity to direct or influence the behavior of others or the course of events. That's the definition of prejudice and power. That's the definition of racism. We must teach culture to dismantle racism. We must teach leadership to dismantle racism. We have to let students know that they are valued, let parents know that they are supported, provide proof of student success, provide a differentiated learning environment outside of the classroom. You want to know how Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated can better leverage the power of education to overcome barriers and pave the way to a brighter future? It's right here in our mission. Develop leaders, promote brotherhood and academic excellence by providing service and advocacy for our communities. Our mission, vision, and principles create culture. Culture is a residue of leadership. Leadership envisions, enables, empowers, and energizes. This is how we deconstruct racism. This is how Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated can better leverage the power of education to overcome barriers and pave the way to a brighter future. I am Jabali Maatuka, member number 2887652, president of the Iota Pi Chapter, and thank you.